Today we'll be talking about establishing a Workday routine based on your specific work type. This is going to help you get the most out of your working hours to help reach your professional goals. Let's talk about riding the roller coaster that is your workday. First, you'll go through your peak, which is when you have the most energy and where you'll do your hardest work that requires the most brain power. This includes things like analytical tasks, leading meetings, meeting your deliverables, and also getting the bulk of your workday done with all of that energy to begin your day. Then you'll go through your trough, and this is arguably the toughest part of your day because your body starts to slow down. Some of us call this the 2 or 3 o'clock time sleepies, but we can use this time to tap into different areas of our brain for creative work and recognizing your wins that you had earlier in the day. There's a misconception that when your energy goes down, your productivity will also go down, but that simply isn't true. Then towards the end of your day, you'll hit your rebound. Here you'll start to feel your day pick back up again. Your body is preparing you for your post-work activities, and you can use this energy to wrap up your day, checking in with your team and things like that. You can also put that creative work that you did during your trough into action to get ready for tomorrow's peak and also to wind down for your post-work day. There are 3 work types which most people identify with, and those are the early birds, the active afternooners, and the night owls. We're going to take a look at each work type's peak working hours and also the ideal work styles for each work type. Now keep in mind, these are very broad descriptions, but generally they apply to those who identify with the respective work type. So first, let's check out the early bird. The early bird's peak working hours are from 5:30 to 10:30 a.m., and this is ideal for remote workers, those in supervisor roles who kind of have to organize their day in order to delegate tasks to others, creatives who have flexibility in their schedule, and also if you have early morning access to a distraction-free in-person office space, then this would be the work type for you. Next, we have the active afternooner. And their work times, their peak work times are from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. So this is ideal for standard 9 to 5 schedule keepers, those who have to deliver instant communication and response with their teams. They have to be available to their staff throughout the workday, and also those with unpredictable schedules or appointments, obligations during the workday. So if this sounds like you, then you're probably an active afternooner. And lastly is the night owl, whose peak work time is from 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. And this is ideal for creative work types like writers or designers whose creative juices might get flowing later in the day, easily distracted workers who just can't keep up with the hustle and bustle of regular working hours, also remote workers who may have some flexibility in their schedules, or those with chaotic schedules during the working day who need to just carve out some time after hours for themselves, and also independent workers who don't necessarily have to check in with their team consistently throughout the day. Then the night owl work type is probably for you. Now that we've seen the different work types, let's check out what the work days look like for each work type hour by hour. And we'll start at 6 a.m. and we'll go all around all the way until 9 p.m. and we'll check out what the peak, trough, and rebound is for each work type, also their downtime, just so we can get an idea hour by hour what each work type is going through. And we'll start with the early bird, and these are just general timelines for each work type. So their day is starting maybe before 6 a.m., but just around that 6 a.m. mark until around 11 a.m., they're going to go through their peak. Then they're going to hit their trough from 11 to around 2, their rebound from just after 2 till about 7:30, 8 o'clock, and then they're really winding down around 8 p.m. So that's what the early bird's day will look like. Then we have the average workday, or this would be the active afternooner, really those 9 to 5 people who are putting that time in during normal working hours. We see that their peak is coming in just as the day is getting started, their workday at around 9 a.m. all the way until around 2. And then their trough, we see it's a little shorter. It's from around 2 until about 6 p.m., 6 p.m., and then they're rebounding towards the end of the day there, and then their downtime is after work, and then probably in those early morning hours before work starts, they're really getting themselves together. And so we see that we do have some common trough time between the the early birds and the active afternooners, so maybe that's when the creative thinking is happening. But let's not forget about those night owls. Let's see how we can incorporate all work types into the workday here. We see that they have a kind of different view here, a different timeline. Their downtime is similar to the active afternooner, where they start their day on time, but they're starting in their trough because they were probably up late at night. So they're starting their day in their trough. They're probably feeling a little fuzzy in the morning, and then they're hitting their rebound actually in that late afternoon time. So that's when they are really going to come into their day. And then their peak is later in the day. So if you have something that you need to hand off, then the night owl might be the person to go to. So they are really getting active around 5 p.m. and then throughout the night. And then their downtime again, coming in the hours before work starts. Night owls, great for handing projects off to then towards the end of your day as they are really coming into their peak. So that's just how we can, a visual of how we can work with our team. Even though we do have different peaks, troughs, and rebounds, there is some common time where we can get together, put our heads together, and see how we can work best together during those working hours. Keeping those work types and work days in mind, most of us have become acclimated to the working hours of our jobs, so our lifestyles reflect that. Let's talk about how to flow through your peak all the way to your rebound during an average work day. So if we're looking at an average work day, we're looking at your peak times being from around 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So let's talk about how you can play up your peak. During your peak, you want to tackle your analytical work, any critical tasks, and things that require high production. So first are meetings, internal and external meetings, whether that's a morning meeting where you strategize with your team or a meeting with a client or partner to bang out some ideas or quarterly goals. That's the time to take it between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. Also during this time is when you want to do your collaborative work and projects. Again, meeting with your team, giving them updates, collaborating on anything that you guys are working together on. This is the time to meet with your team to really get those creative juices flowing to carry you throughout your day, setting goals and also setting milestones throughout your workday or work week. And then finally, writing and emails. Any job that requires heavy writing or responses, you definitely want to get those early incoming emails sent out or responses that may have come in later in the day that you might have missed from the night before. This is the time to check that out. Also to get your day going, checking those emails and seeing how your day might play out. And that makes sense for meeting with your team as well. So these are the activities or the tasks that you want to tackle at the beginning of your day and to launch you into the rest of your day with your team. And next comes that toughest part of the day, getting through the trough, which is that 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. sleepy time during the day where we might feel a little sluggish. Let's talk about how we can use that time to keep productive. This is a great time for creative thinking, problem solving, and planning. So one task that you can get off your plate in that trough is brainstorming and collaborative thinking. So brainstorming, just taking some notes to yourself in a notebook or on a notepad on your desktop. This is the time to do that. And also collaborative thinking. Just because everybody's feeling a little tired doesn't mean that you shouldn't check in with your team. Sometimes it helps carry your team through this trough, just getting together and working through it. You can also use this time for housekeeping and important, taking your lunch. So this is deleting emails, archiving emails, just doing a cleanup in your personal folders, anything like that. And of course, nourishing your body and mind with a lunch, maybe a few moments to relax in that afternoon trough. And then lastly, checking in with your supervisor. Take this time where you might have a little bit of quiet to check in with your supervisor, let them know how your day is going, see if they have any tasks for you to complete or to update them on something that they may have requested from you earlier in the day. So these are all tasks that can help you get through that afternoon downtime when you're feeling a little tired or sluggish. You can still produce, be productive, and get through that time with great results for your workday. And lastly, playing up that rebound, getting the second wind for your workday between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. This is what you can do during that time to wrap up your workday and also still be productive through the end of your day. This is the time for updates, to prep for your day ahead, and also to decompress, getting ready for your after work or post work activities. The first thing that you can do is wrap up with your team and add loose items to your to-do list for the next day. So of course, just having one last touch with your team, getting updates from them, also delivering anything that maybe you said would be ready for end of day. This is the time to review that with your team. Anything that you don't think that you can get done that day, just adding it for your peak for tomorrow. Also updating reports and replying to emails. Anything that has come in during the last few hours of your day, just replying to those emails and also putting in anything for your daily reports, making sure that everything is up to date and current to start your day tomorrow. And lastly, review next day plans and count your wins, of course. So you want to make sure that everything is in place and ready to go to start your day off on the right foot for the morning. And also recognizing your accomplishments, your personal accomplishments, and also those of your team members. Just counting those wins and ending your day on a light note is definitely better than feeling scrambled the next morning. So leave your day feeling accomplished and fulfilled by counting your wins. Let's take a closer look at our early birds by going over their pros and cons. Some pros to the early birds are that they are known for their high energy coming in the morning with a bright smile. Of course, they are ready to go since they've been up for a few hours before us. They're perceived as being more productive. They are great team leaders, usually strategizing or creating a game plan for the rest of their team, which makes them really useful for task delegation. However, because they were up so early, their mid-afternoon crash has little rebound. So at the end of the day, they are really checking out at that 5-6 p.m. mark. They are ready to wrap up their day. So let's take a look at how the early birds can really get the most out of their working hours. Let's take a look at how the early bird gets its worm. On this graph here, we have it broken down by hours for their workday. So let's see, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., this is when they want to strategize and delegate. They've probably already been planning how the day is going to go before we get started. So during that morning meeting, that's really their time to shine, to strategize the day, delegate the tasks for their team in those early hours. Then from 11 to 2, they're going to tackle the big tasks and accomplish their daily goals. So this is when their big projects are going to get the most work done. Their analytical tasks are going to get done during this time, just from 11 to 2 p.m. Then from 2 to 3, that's when they're going to collaborate with their team, again, hitting that trough, maybe needing a little boost from their team to get through those down hours. Also a great time for brainstorming, again, using that trough to maintain productivity. Then from 3 to 6, they're going to close out with their automatic or daily tasks. If you have, certain tasks that are pertinent to your role or delegated to you, then this is when you're going to do them. Whether it's entering data into reports, replying to emails, that's when you're going to do this time. And then they're going to end their day with their post-work ritual, counting their wins for the day, of course, ending on that high note, feeling fulfilled in their work day, and also just planning for their next day ahead. So that's how the early bird is going to get its worm. And now let's take a closer look at our night owls by weighing their pros and cons. Some pros to being a night owl are first that they're known for more creative thinking, so great for bouncing ideas off of during the workday, and they're also great for taking things over if you have any projects that might have some loose ends or you're hitting a creative block towards the end of your day. That's a perfect time to hand it over to the night owl who are just coming into their peak to kind of generate those ideas and maybe get you going in your peak the following morning. They also power through traditionally low times. So during the end of the day where we are coming out of our trough or just hitting our rebound and we don't have that energy we had during the beginning of our day, night owls are just coming into it. So they're really great to bring into that conversation. They also have more time to de-stress during their day. A con to being a night owl is the untraditional work-life hours, as you may be finding yourself taking on more of your work during post-working hours, and you may not have the availability of your team when you are in your peak. So that's just something to consider if you are a night owl. Since our night owls are most productive after everybody has already logged off for the day, let's see how we can get our night owls feeling more productive during the traditional working hours. So from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., which is kind of a rough time, that trough time for night owls, you might want to create a cheat sheet for the day. Since you may be feeling fuzzy during the morning meeting, make sure that you're taking lots of notes and creating goals or milestones for your work day and your work week. Then next, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., you want to ease into your day with automatic and daily tasks. Don't overwhelm yourself first thing in the morning. You know that's not your time. So take on easy tasks to help your morning feel more productive. Then from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., this is the time to take your calls and collaborate with your team. You may find yourself more alert later in the day, and a lot of your team is going through their trough at this time, so you can be the pep in their step, do your collaborating then. You can be communicative with your team and flexible with your timing, and you might just catch them in their rebound even, but this is really the time that you want to take advantage of that collaboration time. Then from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m., you are going to start coming into your rebound where you're going to be feeling more energy. So you want to tackle your hard work and analytical tasks. You can also take on some creative thinking and hard work later in the day. If you have a particularly unproductive day, you can take it home with you during your late night energy sessions. But this is a time where you really want to start taking on those daily goals, projects, your deadlines, projects with deadlines. This is the time to take all of that on. Then for your post-work ritual, you can expedite your morning routine by getting a head start on your mornings and prep for your day the night before. So this could be things like packing or prepping your lunch or breakfast for the next day, gathering whatever you need for work, even showering at night might expedite that morning routine and make getting into your morning a little bit easier. I'm sure a lot of us have teams made up of people who have different work types, but rest assured, birds of a different feather can work together, and getting to know the strengths of the different work types help to maximize the teamwork within your teams. So let's take a look at how we can do just that. If we've learned anything today, it's that there's no wrong way to work. Rather, it's about finding out how you can be most productive based on your work style. Each work type has its own positive attributes, so let's take a look at what each work type brings to the table to create a cooperative work environment. The first person we're going to look at is a big picture person. For every tiny detail ever on your team, there must be a leader who thrives in their big picture working style. If you're an executive director, a department head, or a manager, it's likely that you have this type of style. Big picture types see and embrace the company's vision or your organization's mission. They drive change and are able to integrate competing ideas and priorities into one innovative strategy. Having some big picture types on your team will help you anticipate future obstacles and turn them into opportunities. And our big picture people are usually our early risers, so that's what they'll bring to the table. Next, we have our thinker. Thinkers have to run their own show. They like to follow their instinct and see where it takes them. Visionary and entrepreneurial types often have an independent working style. Also, our freelancers are probably this type. They also are often found in creative or scientific fields. So imagine a writer working late on a novel, a graphic designer rebranding your company or organization, or even an engineer's intense focus on solving a problem. Independent working styles are efficient, disciplined, and productive. And these are our night owls, are our thinkers. That's what they're bringing to our table for us. And next we have our facilitator. Do you have employees who are expressive and emotionally aware? Then these are our facilitators, and they are mostly focused on forming deep connections with not only their colleagues, but also your clients. They have a very supportive working style. Team members with this style are really great at facilitating team interactions and will be able to tell you if something is amiss with one of the projects going on, or they can read a meeting very well. They thrive on collaboration rather than competition and are happiest celebrating successes with other members of the team. And that's where our active afternooner comes in. So once you've identified these work types and their attributes, you're able to more easily form a cooperative work environment. It's easier to delegate tasks and share responsibilities once you've figured this all out, and you'll find that once you've identified these strengths in your fellow work types, it will be easier to bounce ideas off of each other and provide constructive feedback for your team. By identifying your own strengths and those of your teammates, a cooperative working style will form and everyone will have their chance to shine. Thank you for joining us for today's Lunch and Learn on developing a productive workday for your work type. We hope you walk away from today's training with a new sense of how to best structure your day and how to better collaborate with your team for maximum productivity. We hope to see you again soon. And in the meantime, don't forget to subscribe to our channel here on YouTube for all of our trainings. Thanks again and have a wonderful day.